Okay, hi guys, this is Natalie Kimura. I am your Western District Vice President of Membership, and today I just wanted to cover on how to make a district office packet. And this covers the elements, common questions and answers, and fun stuff just to make your packets stand out. And this is the platform. This is the document for new ideas to be in your district office. And it's already included in your cover letter and resume, but with your platform, I emphasize on the importance of having 3 specific ideas to start with. Because you already kind of mention it, but in your resume, this is where you emphasize your ideas and how you're going to do it. And then with this in mind, some tips include be as short as possible. Think of it as short-term goals and long-term goals for your ideas. Always have your office and chapter experiences support and build those ideas. Have enough of an explanation of a plan to execute your ideas to the district, because you can't rattle on when you actually have to present these ideas in front of rooms or just the entire district in one go. And remember that a district officer is responsible with programming and helping with making chapter experiences better. And for practice, I always ask for feedback from somebody that you trust, and they will have ideas and build your ideas into better shaped ideas that you can present to the district. And then I always say speak to other people and you'll find ideas if you're out of luck or if you can't think of anything. And then for this next slide is just talking about the Kappa Psi offices and what goals can include. And this just lists things by subject, such as fundraising for the secretary treasurer, and ideas by subject for the member at large, such as service, history, or music. For the vice president, it's talking about membership and retention and ritual. And for the president, it's talking about more directional ideas for the district jointly and separately. And for the next slide, it's talking about Tau Beta Sigma offices and ideas including the secretary treasurer, talking about fundraising, and the VPSP lists them by subject with service, history, music, or sisterhood. And then the vice president of membership just talks about ideas for the membership or retention or ritual or even joint relationships. And as well, the president similarly talks about more directional ideas for the district jointly and separately. And this is the platform example where I just emphasized an example of how much you should include. I always say the limit should be a paragraph or less. And this just states for the first goal, Sisterhood Virtual Workshop Series, where this candidate explains the Western District has a very unique perspective with the rest of the district, but this candidate wants to give virtual workshops in a year that gives tips and tricks on how to have better chapter experiences. And this would emphasize better sisterhood and give better experiences for the sisterhood. And this is just a very vague idea, but you can grow upon this by listing off some virtual workshop ideas that you could do. If you have further plans, the more detail it is better. Some ideas for a virtual workshop series can include how to be a better active member, or how do you emphasize sisterhood activities on a chapter level. Something like that would be a very good answer and show that you're very prepared to work on this idea and to let it grow and to let it be something the sisters can learn about. And this can go the same as for brothers, but for this example, I use sisters. And for the second idea for this hypothetical candidate, it's talking about providing workshops and discussions for its members through district events for WDC and DLC. And this candidate emphasizes talking about getting better extra features such as a district officer panel into a podcast for the district to listen to during the off season, and providing more resources for the district to use and bring back to their chapters. And if another member asks for more details about this, you can even list more ideas of what you could do with chapters and officers and other things. This next slide is just talking about chapter letter of recommendation. A lot of these are pretty similar, where you just need to give a 2 weeks notice for somebody of your chapter or the entire chapter to write a letter of recommendation for you to run for office. This is usually actually the first thing you go through to have written out because you need to have your TBS resume ready for the chapter representative who's writing it, or for the entire chapter to understand why you want to run for office and how you can do it. And similarly, this is the example of like what a typical letter includes. And it just shows what you've done as a chapter member, what you've done, and talk about why you're a great candidate, and then just have it written and signatured as the chapter or as individuals as the chapter with the same usual signature. And for this next slide, this is talking about sponsor letter of recommendation. As well, you give 2 weeks of notice for your sponsor to write a letter of recommendation, but you also give them your TBS resume or your KSI resume so they can be able to base off your letter if you don't have such a solid relationship. And this is easier and more professional for your sponsor to write letters anyway. And here is an example of that. It's very similar to a chapter letter of recommendation, except this is by your sponsor. And then this is just for like if you want extra general letters of recommendation, or you have a brother chapter, you would get it from them. Or if you are a brother and you want it from a sister chapter or have it from your sister chapter, you would do the same process of just giving them 2 weeks of notice and give them a resume, and then be able to obtain another letter to show emphasis on you being an active member and being an active member of the district. And then here's the example where it is very similar, and it could be from alumni or from a sister representative or a brother representative, whatever works for you. And then here are some general tips about what to include in your packet. And usually a short packet is a good packet. And this means they're specific, but they're concise, and usually act as a story for your packet. And keep logistics of your job and school and other time commitments pretty short, but represented on there. And this is supposed to make you look your best. So represent your highlights, your achievements within the contents, and be consistent and easy to follow for anybody to be able to read your packet. And also make sure that they are in PDF format, because usually you have to email the governors or counselors these packets, and then have to print packets for the delegation. For the brothers, I believe it will be 15 plus 4 extras for like chapters that want to read it in person, and for the sisters it would be 8 plus 4 extras for anybody that wants to read the extras, because there's 8 chapters. And typically your average packet total will be 6 to 7 pages depending on the length and the formatting, as you can see the count below. And then on the next slide, it's just some general tips overall on what you need to do. Just remember to keep things short. Is this relevant? Is this important? How does this help my packet? The message behind it. Why should I include this? Does this goal/idea help build my platform? Have I done everything I can to finish my packet? And just remember, answer the general questions for the office you're running for and are required to be answered. And that's just a brief overall review of the packets and how to make one for brothers and sisters. And if you have any actual questions, here's the contact information for all the district officers. They are willing to always ask questions or answer your questions and make comments and help you in building it. They always want to help. And if you have any questions, you can always count on the district officers to be able to give back. Thank you.